Hey everybody, this is that German guy Josh Rehnquist, and I'm here with Alex from Fallujah, who just did a killer set here at Summer Slaughter at the Skyway Theater in Minneapolis, Minnesota. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad I was actually able to see you guys. I know you guys had a couple problems coming here in the Twin Cities in the past.
Definitely.
Yeah, to say the least, but I'm so glad you guys are actually able to make it out this time.
Yeah, I mean, we came here like 2 years ago on the Slaughter Survivors tour, and the last tour we did just kind of fell apart, so it didn't really happen. Yeah, the tour died about a week before maybe our last Minnesota date would have been, but we came back now in a much bigger fashion, so it was pretty cool.
Oh, very cool. And I'm so glad that I was able to see you guys, and of course you guys are promoting the new album, which did very killer on the charts, which I'm very glad to see.
Yeah, it's our best record for sure to date. Yeah, we were just kind of stoked on how the momentum's building. All the reviews are really good, so I mean, it kind of has done everything we could have asked for it to do, and it's still building nonstop, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite albums of the year. I mean, you guys just like nailed it out of the park for me.
Thanks, man. That's awesome. Cool.
So, what actually went into the writing process for The Flesh Prevails?
I mean, we kind of wrote the album the same way we wrote our last album, where we do everything at home with computers. We don't really jam as a band a whole lot. We think we're more efficient and create more quality stuff when we have the time to, loop things and hear things back and have our own time kind of introvertedly to write music. So yeah, it was a lot of long nights, pretty much hanging out with Scott, our main guitar player and main writer, working over the songs. We kind of help, he plays everything, and we kind of help him orchestrating and how we think all the songs should go. And yeah, we don't really have a super elaborate writing process. It's mainly just, me, Rob, and Scott for the most part, hanging out, writing songs and, orchestrating them all together to make sure that they're not just, good parts or good sections, but, actually crafting a real song that has its own theme.
Oh, very cool. And it does really just like shine through just like everything that you guys are about in this new album. It's really cool to see.
Cool.
So how did this come about to be on Summer Slaughter?
Also kind of unglamorously, we just got an offer. The email comes in, manager sends me, shoots me a call. It's like, hey, you're getting an offer for Slaughter. Do you want to do it? And we're like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? I mean, I think for us, they knew, the politics, of course, play into the fact that, we have a new album coming out and that, it would be a good time to promote it and that there'd be a lot of hype around the band at that time. So politically, as well as, for us, personally, it made sense. So it was cool getting that offer coming in, and it's certainly been lucrative for everybody.
Oh, very cool. And everything that I've seen online and everything, like the reviews of you guys live on this tour, I mean, it's really cool to see how you get.
Yeah, I think we, even in a different way, other than just, our CD, like I think we pride ourselves on being a pretty good live band. To the point where if, you have a friend or maybe someone who wasn't exposed before, what's your band all about? A lot of ways I tell them, like, hey, come see us live, even before I maybe give them our CD. Because I think in a lot of ways, the energy and the emotions of the album translate in a more aggressive way live. It can maybe be a bit more powerful. And I think, if the circumstances are right, we put on a really good live show. So I think, when people come see us live, very rarely does anyone have anything bad to say, which is really cool because, we put a lot of time to be sure that we sound good live.
That's a good way to be.
Yeah.
So what are you guys' plans after this current tour?
We got a West Coast run with Archspire for a hot second before Europe. We're going to Europe with Dying Fetus and
nice.
Godor. Yeah, it's like 6 weeks. And then there's all talk right now about South America, Mexico. Then again, the offers have to be gravy before we're actually going to do them. So that, and then, even more talk and speculation about the beginning of next year. A lot of cool stuff is going on for next spring. So, there's not really a whole lot I can say aside from the stuff that's already been announced. There's a lot of cool shit coming.
Oh, very cool. So, with the new album, is there any B-sides or leftover songs that may end up in the future?
Not really. We wanted to make an album that was completely what we wanted. I mean, I think maybe on the personal level, there's like a few riffs and Cubase files that have, parts of songs that we tanked. But Other than that, no. I mean, we've talked about like doing our own little one-off tracks, our own little B-sides, maybe like some covers. We'd love to do. There's a few covers we'd love to do. Other than that, no. I mean, as far as actual content from The Flesh Prevails, we recorded everything we wanted to record and put it out.
Wow, very cool. Well, you bring up covers. Can you like mention any covers that may happen in the future?
We'd all love to cover some Pink Floyd songs. I know we'd love to cover a Radiohead song or two. Talk about maybe a Deftones track, maybe a Blade Runner track from the soundtrack, Max and Jellies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, Radiohead and Pink Floyd are probably the two big ones that we'd want to do. Yeah, that'll be a discussion for later on in the year, what we want to do.
Well, it's definitely some cool ideas rolling through there.
Yeah, I mean, we probably, we want to cover a song that isn't exactly, overtly metal.
Yeah.
Because that's not really fun. You want to put an aggressive atmospheric context on a track that has melodies that can translate over.
Oh yeah. And just like thinking about it in my head right now, like you guys covering Radiohead or Deftones or Pink Floyd, I could just like picture some really cool ideas going on there.
Yeah, and I trust our ability as a band to like kind of think outside the box and be like, how would another band cover this song, and how could we maybe like switch it up a bit? Mm-hmm. So if that ever comes about, it's mainly a matter of time and if someone wants to put the songs out. But until then, it's all again talk and speculation.
Sure. So how does it feel to be on this kind of lineup for Summer Slaughter this year? I mean, it's easily one of the heaviest Summer Slaughters it's been in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I think the truth is, it's a good year. Mm-hmm. It's a great year. Mm-hmm. And, it's also what adds to it is the fact that, a lot of the bands, or the majority of the bands on this tour, we all know each other in one way or another beforehand, Somebody has toured with somebody knows someone from another band that filled in, someone had the same merch guy or roadie or TM or whatever it is. Almost all the bands, I think, probably besides Morbid Angel, are, connected to each other in one way or another. So, like, there's a lot of, recognizing going on. There's a lot of, former friends, like, long time no see, kind of stuff like that. So which is really cool. It's cool being on a tour for the most part. There's like an icebreaker amongst everybody already there.
Oh yeah. Well, it's definitely a good way to be, like touring with people that you know and get along with and friends with, because that makes for a whole better tour, like when you're playing live and touring.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is super cool for the most part on this tour, and we hang out with everyone that's cool, I think, and everyone that's nice, and everyone that's cool and nice tends to hang around.
Oh yeah. Oh, with that said, what bands would you like to be able to tour with in the future?
That's a big question. I think that's one of those questions that kind of depends on who you ask in the band. Everyone will probably have their own different ideas, but I think we would all love to tour with the Deftones. That'd be amazing. We'd all probably love to tour with Devin Townsend. That'd be amazing. Necrophagists, if they ever decide to come back.
Which is funny because this was their tour, Summer Slaughter.
They did 2007 and 2009.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Well, I mean, time will tell. Yeah, that'd be a cool band to tour with. We would have loved to do a tour with Obscura back when Christian was in the band, because Christian Wenzer did a guest solo on our album.
That's right.
Who else do we all like? Pink Floyd, that'd be fucking awesome. The Smiths, if Morrissey ever decides to come back.
Oh yeah.
All of these are like dream opportunities, but theoretically, that'd be a great tour.
Oh yeah. And some of those are indeed feasible. I mean, like the Contortionist opened for Deftones last year, so
I know.
Fallujah
The
could easily
is one of those bands.
Yeah.
We were friends with Michael Sard. That'd be a cool band to tour with for sure.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine too.
Yeah, Mike's a good guy.
Yeah.
He was actually supposed to be on Flesh Prevails. But yeah, that'd be another band. Probably, I guess, maybe on the more micro level of like what we're doing. They're kind of doing the same thing, but in a different vein. Contortionist would be fun to tour with. Last Chance to Reason as well with Michael Sard. Those are all bands we'd love to go out with.
Oh, very cool. And kind of a similar question, what are you guys listening to on the road?
Once again, that depends on who you ask, who's driving. We've been hearing... I've been listening to the new Expire album pretty well. Mm-hmm. I've also been listening to a lot of Chromatics, Electric Youth. Mm-hmm. I've been playing the Drive soundtrack a lot. The movie Drive.
Yep.
With what's his face? That soundtrack's been on, so I've been listening to a lot of like 80s retro stuff. Mm-hmm. What else have I been listening to? pretty low. The new Lana Del Rey album has been on a lot. Ultraviolence, I think it's really good.
Yeah.
What else? FKA Twigs, who's this new R&B electronic singer from the UK. I'm really into. She got a new album coming out. As far as heavier stuff, yeah, that new Expire album, a lot. I don't know. I think a big part of touring for me is sometimes not listening to a lot of metal bands.
Oh yeah.
You know, in between, kind of like taking a bit of a backseat to metal stuff, because you know, a big thing about Summer Slaughter is that it's really cool. You know, a lot of bands, a lot of opportunity, but you know, the days are long.
Yeah.
The shows, you know, you get there at 10 a.m. The show starts at 2, and you're sitting at the merch table for fucking 8 hours.
Yeah.
Listening to metal bands all day. So sometimes, you know, when you get your drive, that night drive to the next show, metal isn't sometimes always the first thing that you put on. We've been listening to the Blade Runner soundtrack quite a bit. The Dark Crystal soundtrack as well. That's puppet movie from the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, shit like that. Pretty much.
See, I like that. There's a lot of diversity and creativity just in what you listen to, and again, that I think that transpires into what Fallujah sounds like too.
Oh yeah, I mean, without that kind of diversity on our part, I don't think any of it would be possible. You have to have a diverse palette. If you want to make the next great metal album, listening to only metal albums is not going to take you there.
It was I would say 2 weeks ago now, like I did a proper review for The Flesh Prevails, and I even said in one of the last lines that I think it could be one of the future metal albums that people hold up and what could be next, and I definitely think that could be, you know, it's just like what could come after this, you know, like what could be inspired by it.
All you can do is wait and see. That would be awesome. I'd be very humbled if that, you know, was the way things worked out, but all I can do is play and tour as much as possible now, and if someday people look back at The Flesh Prevails and view it that way, then that's incredible.
Oh, very cool. Just to wrap things up here, I know things are going to be winding down eventually. What would you like to bring up that I have not brought up yet?
That's an interesting question. I don't know, you've kind of touched on all the bases. I think, you know, if this goes up before the end of the tour, I mean, we have a huge Canadian leg of the tour coming up with the Faceless and Archspire. Come out to those shows. I mean, we're going to be hitting all kinds of new territory in like Quebec, all over Ontario, we're going to British Columbia, Edmonton, all places that we do really well in. So if you were teetering on coming out, come out a bit early. We're playing really early on the lineup for some reason, but the show's going to be good. The package is fucking awesome. So yeah, this will probably go up. I mean, there's only really a week of the tour left, so I think we got another 2 weeks in Canada, and after that, we're all back home, and then you know, Europe is next.
Oh, very cool. I'm glad to see all the success that's happening from the Flesh Prevails and all these great tours coming up for you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I'm only hoping for the biggest and best for you guys.
Yeah, we hope so too. We'll see.
Thanks again for doing this great interview.
Absolutely,
and have a great rest of the tour and everything that's coming up until next time you guys come through.
I'm thinking like early next year we'll be back.
Oh, very cool. I'll definitely be there.
Sweet, man. Thanks.
Once again, this has been Alex from Fallujah, and this is that German guy, Josh Ronquist. Thank you.